you believe in the supernatural?
Download the Legacy Edition of Spirit Blade, a full cast audio drama, for free for a limited time at spiritblade.com.
I want to start this over. It's been forever since I played Clash at Demonhead. The summer of 1990X. Bang and merry, mission accomplished. Oh, crap, I read too slow. My numbers come up again. Oh, my numbers come... I don't know what the voice for Bang should be. I've got to rescue him. Good luck. Oh, crap. Oh, get away. Ah, my gosh. Ha ha ha. You haven't got a chance of getting to camp without the royal medallions of the 7 governors? I just feel like it should be performed like a Japanese anime. Push a decision. Oh wait, push a decision. Push a... What's the difference between decision and select? Oh, I can't go that way. Oh no, no. Oh my gosh. Get out of there. Get out of there. My gosh. You're always welcome at the super shop. This is Rolling Star, a boomerang gun. Alright, I'm gonna stop doing that. He's in a hypnotic spell and he's very making us of... Oh my gosh. Oh! This is why I played it with cheat codes. And now, back by demand of no one, the +2 page of many topics. I've crossed them off because this is actually returning from the Extra Life stream, where I talked about already Arminianism versus Calvinism / free will versus predestination. I talked about my favorite superhero movies. I talked about the phrase follow your heart. I talked about the Arrow TV series. I talked about Sony versus Microsoft and my history with the Xbox 360. And I talked about the origins of Spirit Blade Productions. I did that really late at night, and it was really drawn out and long and boring, and I think there was one person in chat, Rugged Warrior, might have been you, that I was inflicting that upon. I can't remember who was there for that, but it was not concise, and it was slow and boring. I don't understand, Rugged Warrior. 22 or 42? 22 or 42? Oh, 22 or 42. 22. Gotcha. Yeah. I think the PlayStation TV, which has sold horribly and therefore is available for a very low price on Amazon, is a good buy. At least it was for me, because I had a PS4 controller anyway, and all you need is a PS3 or a PS4 controller, and you're good to go. Because it doesn't necessarily come with a controller. I think you can buy packages where it doesn't come with a controller, but it plays like pretty much the entire library of PSP games and most of PS Vita games. I don't know if it's guaranteed, because they've technically stopped supporting it. And so I don't know who's in charge of making sure that games run on it, new games that come out, if that's the developer or if that's Sony that does that. So I wouldn't say that, any games going forward now are guaranteed to run on it. But it's great for going back to that generation of games that are kind of like lost a little bit. Like this one, I actually own this one on PlayStation 1. But the disc, for some reason, the way the disc was manufactured, it reads a little bit differently from all of my other discs. There are lots of great, like, if you've never owned a PSP before, there's a ton of great games that you can have access to, and they're usually really cheap. And play on your TV. That was the big selling point for me, because I'm not really super into handhelds. I really prefer to play on a screen at home. So you can play a bunch of games, some of which that were designed for handheld, but you can play them on your screen at home, Much like the Retron 5 was a great buy for me for its Game Boy Advance compatibility alone, because that would allow me to play some of the Castlevania games that I've been enjoying so much on a screen instead of on a TV screen instead of a little handheld screen. The PlayStation Vita and PSP would also had these library of older games from PS1, like PS1 classics that they'll put on the PlayStation Network. So anyway, it functions really well as a retro device, and you can a retro gaming device, excuse me, and you can do a search online. Sony has an updated list of all the games that are compatible with PlayStation TV. So if you just do a search on like PlayStation TV compatible games, you can get a sense of the library that's available to you, and you can browse on on PlayStation Network to see what the prices are like and really make an informed decision about the game. The one thing I'd say is that if you buy it specifically, with the intent of streaming, you'll need to buy a little like go-between adapter thing that's about maybe $20, so that it will be so that the signal will get decoded or something, because it's got like some copyright protection, some kind of thing built into it, which the PS4 has as well, but you can turn that off. The sense I get from, various voices online is that this is kind of the redheaded stepchild of the Final Fantasy games. A lot of people did not like the leveling system, because it's similar to the Elder Scrolls. I mean, kind of ahead of its time. I don't know when the first Elder Scrolls game came out that used the same system of, like, you get better at the things that you do, rather than just getting stronger from killing monsters, In this game, if you're gonna make a mage, then you better have them casting spells a lot, because that's how their mana pool grows, and that's how their intelligence or their spell power improves. Normally, when you're running around with a party and just kind of leveling up, and you don't want to waste MP, then you would have your spellcaster just like do some waste attack that isn't going to do anything, but it just is a quick way to hammer through, and put off the commands. But you can't do that in this. Otherwise, your mage is going to turn into a fighter. They're going to have fighter-type stats. And another thing that's interesting is some stats have a relationship to each other. Like, the more you develop, I think, strength, your intelligence starts to actually lower at some point. So you got to be careful to not have your mages fighting a lot, or they're not only will their strength build up, and their magic will actually get worse, less effective. Also, the back row is not accessible for melee combat in this game, so I can only select these first two rows. Am I excited for the Final Fantasy VII Remake? Excited isn't the word I would use. I am very curious, and whenever I've got my eye on it as much as I can. Whenever there's new information, I want to know about it. Oh crap, I'm in the wrong place! I'm so sorry! I should have saved! Okay, that's one thing about this game. Like, if you go off the beaten path for just a moment, you could wander into a zone that has enemies that are way more powerful than you. So I don't even think, I think I just need to try and run. Please! Oh, I haven't saved in so long. I'm sorry, game. Please let me run away. Would I rather have remakes or new games? I don't know. It depends on the game. I think in general, new games, because I've already played the old games, I'm more interested in remakes that really are remakes, not just remasters or even up-reses. Like, as much of a jump as this is from the original Final Fantasy 1 and 2, I mean, I never played the original 2, but the original 1, I'd rather have a brand new Final Fantasy game. And I'm really looking forward to Final Fantasy 12, the remake. In fact, my plan is later tonight to play some of Final Fantasy 12, just in case you're not familiar with it, and kind of showcase a little bit of what that game is and what you have to look forward to. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm basically I'm as interested in it as I am in any other new JRPG, because it looks like it's getting a complete overhaul and only the story is going to be intact. The battle system that they're doing, it looks like it's going to be completely new, and so that's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's kind of a new Final Fantasy game, but these days, Final Fantasy has really lost their way, and so the prospect of a new Final Fantasy game doesn't excite me today like it did years ago. I used to not keep multiple save slots. Can you believe that? I used to play JRPGs on the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. I mean, they often didn't have many save slots to choose from, but I used to keep just like one save slot. That seems insane to me now. That's how, when I was playing the original Final Fantasy, I missed out on my chance to get the most powerful black magic spell in the whole game. I went to my room and I cried when I realized what I had done. Because in that game you only had so many slots to learn spells, and you couldn't empty slots after you'd learned a spell and filled a slot. Oh yeah, this is the keyword system in this game, where every once in a while in dialogue you'll get these highlighted words that you can then memorize, and then you can ask other characters about them later on, and they'll give you information about that thing. So it's interesting. It's kind of like this, a little bit like a dialogue tree thing, but you have to go around and collect your dialogue options in a sense. I was in 7th grade, I want to say, when I had the incident with Final Fantasy I. Old enough that, like, I shouldn't have been crying about it.
The future, a world where the quest for truth has ended.
Do you believe in the supernatural, Mr. Vandarian?
I'm not enough. Surprise! The Shader will bring hell to Earth for thousands of years. Shock Division, kill them all!
The trilogy is complete. Spirit Blade, a full cast audio drama. For a limited time, download the Legacy Edition of Spirit Blade for free at spiritblade.com.